afternoon. This is Lois Friend, and you are Stamping with a Friend. Today, as I record this, it is Saturday afternoon, March the 9th, and it is a rainy, damp, cold day here on the mountaintop of Maryland. I had my class this morning. I had my last March class this morning, and I decided that while I had a few minutes, I was going to go ahead and record the tutorial for March for my class. This coming week is going to be a busy week. So I thought I'd go ahead and do it today. And I probably, as usual, will stammer and stutter, but hopefully we can get through this. I will put either the link to my tutorial or copy and paste all the measurements and everything for these cards in the comments. Somewhere I'll get it in so that you can see what we did and what sizes and things like that. I'm still learning that process, so please bear with me as I learn. At some point in time, I'm hoping to actually do a live, but because I've already started and stopped recording this session about 3 times, I'm still not real comfortable behind the camera doing these. So we'll muddle through. The 2 of the cards this month, I used a different type of a different card fold. I don't know how what you would say. It's called a pocket card, and it's a really cute little design. And I'm not gonna open this one because that's a little surprise that you'll see when we get to that card. But these are pocket cards. They're not hard, but they just really make a cute little something a little unique and a little different. The 3rd card we did was just a regular card. You probably can see something. We got a theme going on here. I decided it is close spring. This is the weekend we change time, which I'm always so grateful when we have more light at the end of the day. So I decided I was going to go with bright, cheerful colors for the most part and add some daisies. Daisies are one of my favorite flowers. They make me smile. A daisy and a sunflower are two of my favorite flowers. So this month I decided to go with the daisy theme. All of the cards, all of the daisies, except for this card, these 2 are taken. We used the Cheerful Daisies bundle, and it is found on page 111 of the annual catalog. And I used some of the paper, the stamps, and that's the one part I didn't get the bling to go along with it. I can't believe I didn't get the bling to go along with this set. But anyway, this is a really it's a versatile set. It's got different size daisies and the die cuts. So those 2 cards were made using this. The other card, this card, I used the die cuts from the Around the Bend set, and that I just used the dies. I didn't use any of the stamps for this card, but I used the dies for the daisy and for the flowers, and that's the Around the Bend die cut, and that is found on page 162 of the annual catalog. So let's go ahead. While these are not hard cards, they are a little bit time consuming. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, we'll start with this card. And I will start out by saying this tool is a brayer. This is not the current brayer that is available with Stampin' Up. They had retired brayers for a while and then recently came out with a new one, and I still haven't purchased it. It's on my list to get, but I am still using the old one, and it is a spongy material. So how we're going to do that, get that look, is I'm going to take the Moody Mauve ink, and I need my embossing folder. I know I brought it over here. Here it is. And I'm just going to build my color. And I'm only going on one side of the embossing folder on the inside. I'm just going on the back side of where the word Stampin' Up! Is. And I'm going to build my color. And you can get it as dark as you want, but I didn't want it real dark. And you need to go over the full, pretty much the full. And you're just inking it up. All right, now I'm going to put my white cardstock in there, and I'm going to shake the table for a minute because I'm going to run it through my embossing, my big tool here. And there, isn't that pretty? It just adds just a little bit of color. And like I said, you can build it and get it as dark as you want. I tend to go for the lighter. And then it is ready. You can go ahead then and mount that to this Moody Mauve piece. And you'll see this is just a single layer. So with one piece of our 8.5 and 11 by cardstock, you can actually get 4 card bases. So go ahead and do that. And then this little corner piece, we're going to emboss it with the Splatters 3D embossing folder. And I'm just going to put it in here. And again, I'm going to shake the table a little bit. And it just gives it a little bit of, I don't know, pop. Okay. Now you can use your, you can use glue or you can use tape. It doesn't matter. But remember, when you glue, you're adding, whatever you use, your glue or your tape runner, just put it along the edge. And I should have brought my glue over. I kind of prefer glue for something like this, but I didn't bring it over to my table. It's over at my work table, and I've got, and then you're ready. You can just put that, attach that, and then you have a little pocket. Okay, now we're ready to do the little inside card that fits in your in the pocket. Okay, this is some of the designer series paper that comes with the Cheerful Daisy suite, and I'm just going to go ahead and add that to the front. Trying to stay in the camera. Okay, now for this inside, I'm going to use one of the stamps from the stamp set. And first I'll ink this up, and then I'm doing what it's called stamp off because I don't want full strength first. And then I'll add that there. And now I want one that's full strength. And I'm not going to stamp off. And there you go. And like I said, there is no right or wrong way to do it. However you stamp it, it's fine. Because the recipient of that card is not going to know what's right or what's right or wrong. It's just they're going to be so pleased with receiving a card from you, a handmade card no less. They are going to ooh and they're going to ah and be so thrilled. So, okay, then that fits right in there. And this does fit in a regular size envelope. Now, we need to make the flowers and the leaves and your sentiment. So I'm going to take a white piece of cardstock. And the daisy in this is a two-step stamp. And what I'm going to show you is this is the inside. This is the petals, the color of the petals, and I don't want it quite so dark. So again, I'm going to stamp it off, stamp it, and then this is your lines and your veining in for the and this is a two-step. And then I'm going to die cut that. And then I'll go ahead and I'll do the sentiment. Okay. And while I'm stamping, I'm going to go ahead and do these leaves. And this color is wild wheat. And I'm going to do color on color. I want 3 leaves. This is wild wheat ink and wild wheat cardstock. And I forgot I need to do the center of my daisy. And this is yellow. Here we go. So now, what we'll do is I have all these die cuts. And this is the daisy. And I'm using removable tape, and I'll just put that in place. And this is for the sentiment. And these, have to do these a couple of times because I only have one die cut for the leaves. And I should have gone ahead and done those before. I know it's kind of boring to sit and watch me do die cutting. All right, now I'm gonna watch the tables shake. And I have a cup of coffee over here, and it is shaking a little bit too. That. Another leaf. Have to do this 2 more times. Some of the girls at class this month, they didn't wait for the machine. They just did fussy cutting. I'm not much of a fussy cutter, although I have done some more fussy cutting recently than I have for a long time. It's really not that bad. I feel like I need the Jeopardy music while you're watching me, or while you're waiting. I should have the Jeopardy music playing, shouldn't I? All right. Now I'm just going to build. And some of the girls ask if I used dimensionals. I did on part of it, but part of it I did not. But you have to be careful. If you're going to have any stick over that edge, you need to be careful not to put tape, so that, because you don't want that to stick to the underneath card. So you have to watch a little bit. And stick that under that. I could have built that and done that one before I glued it down. And then, if I can find my pop dots here, but I don't see them, so we're just gonna go with that. And again, you're only gonna put tape as far over as you need it to stick. And you could put just a little there, and it'll still. And there, that's card number 1. Like I said, it's not hard. It's just a little bit, there's a little bit of extra die cutting. It takes a little bit of time, but it's not too bad. And then you can write your message in there if you want to. You could put a sentiment in there. It's entirely up to you. All right. You can always add bling if you want. It's just a matter of choice. Oh, I didn't do my envelope. I better do the envelope. Some of my card makers never leave the room, never leave this room without all of their envelopes being decorated. There you go. Now it's ready to go. Just address that to somebody special and put some postage in it, and off you go. Okay, now for card number 2. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to die cut the flowers. So I'm going to be shaking the table again, and I'm going to use some more of this white that I had laid out, and I need 3 of those flowers. I'm going to use our handy dandy little tool there to get those out quick. So 1. 2. see. So, three of those. And I need some of the leaves, and this color is Lost Lagoon, and this color is Pretty Peacock. And they really make a nice, they go well together. So I'm going to cut some leaves. And you have to make one turn do it. All right. And this piece is embossed with these metal plate 3D embossing folder. So do that real quick. All right, now we are ready to assemble. And for this card, I use a couple of different kinds of paper. For this card, I used some of our designer series paper, and the Lost Lagoon is in the Subtles color family. So I used the Lost Lagoon for that, but I didn't have enough. I hadn't purchased enough for all my class goers. So then I also had a packet of the Bright and Beautiful designer series paper. So I used pieces from out of there that included the Lost Lagoon and the Pretty Peacock. So it interchanged, and it worked well together because that way everything blended. So for this one was just the regular designer series paper, and for the one that I'm going to make here, it is the Bright and Beautiful, and it is on page 129 of the annual catalog. So, speaking of the annual catalog, we are getting ready. There'll soon be a new catalog. I have not seen it yet. Stampin' Up! Is having their big on stage, sort of like a convention type thing. That's in Texas next week. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be attending, but that is in Texas. So I'm sure probably all the demonstrators that are attending on stage next week will see the new catalog. So it'll probably be then a few days after that the rest of the demonstrators get to see it. So by that time, then they'll release the retiring list, and I'll start cleaning out my cupboard and pulling out retired items, getting ready for my BOGO sale probably. This is assembled exactly like the first one. Okay. Now I'm going to be truthful here. For the centers of these daisies, I couldn't find one of my I think it's a 1/2 inch circle. I couldn't find it. So, sometimes you just have to improvise. So what I did was, let me show you. I have the truck punch. That little circle makes a perfect daisy center for these daisies. So that's what I did, because like I said, I couldn't find my little circle punch. Right now we don't have one, that we don't sell one. They have a lot of dies and things, but I still hold on to some of my old punches. So at any rate, sometimes you just have to improvise. So that's what I did. And before I punched the circle, I ran some lemon lolly using one of my favorite retired embossing folders. I wanted just a little bit of texture. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. There's just a little bit of texture, and I used the Subtle 3D embossing folder, and that was one of my all-time favorite embossing folders, and I hung on to it. So that's what I used for the daisy centers. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So I am going to assemble that and use these dies these flower leaves. And there again, I could use dimensionals and pop that up a little bit, but my dimensionals are somewhere buried under this mess. And so we'll go with the flow. And I'm going to add this to that. All right. There you go. Now we are ready we're ready for the surprise. Almost. And this was just some scraps that I saved. I don't like to waste anything. That just puts it all together, makes it all fit together. And then what I did, I forgot I used this set. This is the circle sayings, and I use that set a lot. And I will tell you in just a second what page that is. That is on page 17 of the annual catalog. Circle sayings. And what I did is I just assembled the saying that I wanted. I lined it up and put it all on the stamp block. And I'm using Lost Lagoon, color on color, Lost Lagoon on Lost Lagoon. The cardstock's Lost Lagoon. And stamp that. And that says, sending you a smile because you are awesome. And inside this card, the inside card, we're sending smiles. We're sending a little packet of daisy seeds. I bought these. I think they were $4 or $5 for $1. I could look at the price. I covered the price up with a little punch from a little flower from an old punch. But I just think that's a really neat idea. But what was exciting to me is, as I did these in class, as I showed my class what we were doing, they all had really, really neat ideas of what this could be used for. Instead of daisy seeds, why not a packet of, or one of the little Ghirardelli chocolates? One of the class said this morning, how about a tea bag, or something, you know, some little tea bag, or a coffee, or hot chocolate, or something like that. There are so many things you could do with this. And I just thought it was really neat. And I learn a lot from my class goers. So all I did was on this, I just added just a little bit of tape on the top. It was 4 for $1. And I want to cover that price up. So if you have some punch or die cut or something, I couldn't use the die cut that I used on the front because it was a little bit too big. So I had to go a little bit smaller. So and to take a dauber, just add just a little bit so it's not stark white. You could use any color you want. If you wanted to do the yellow, the lemon lolly, whatever your preference is. And then I'm going to use, I was going to use a glue dot, but I can't find my glue dot. Like I said, my table, if you'd see the side of my table, you would know why. And if you want to do a little punch out, I have a small circle, another little small circle. You just add that to that. Okay, and there you have it. What a nice surprise. Whoops. What a nice surprise for someone when they open that up. You've sent them a smile. Easy little card. But it's just a lot of thought right there. All right, and I am going to, I think I'll wait on decorating the envelope because I'm not exactly sure what I'll do. So, all right. And for the third card, it's just kind of a little plain, your basic card. And if anybody's wondering what this is our piercing pad. But with our, for our photopolymer stamps, it works better. You get a clearer image if you put something under it. And I just use one of these piercing pads a lot. So that's what this is. And then this is our silicone sheet. And you can use the glue, whatever adhesive you use. If you get it on it, it's less mess and it's really easy to clean. And I use it a lot too. So. All right, I am going to run this through the embossing folder, if I can find the embossing folder. I can't, I don't see it right off. Somewhere, it's not in the box, so we will. Sorry. But while I was looking, I found my pop dot. happened to that embossing powder. I will wing it and I will run it through this one, the metal plate. That will be fine. I'll find that as soon as I'm done recording. I'm sure it's here. It's not buried. It's buried somewhere. It's probably not far. And it will be fine. Like I said, you just sometimes have to wing it. Just attach this. This is fresh freesia and lemon lime twist. Okay, now there is a die cut for this flower, and I evidently, when I was making this card, I used the die cut, but then I laid it right flat on the white cardstock. So I'm not exactly sure why I even bothered cutting it out in the first place. So I'm going to do it where I'm going to stamp directly on the cardstock. Because like I said, I'm not sure why I bothered with it. Maybe I had a reason. I don't know. Who knows? But this works. Use lemon lolly for the center. And for the stem, I'm going to use, I'm going to use the garden green, if I can find it. And the leaf. This is the same leaf we used with the very first card. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and attach that. It is ready to attach. Okay, and I'm using just some scraps of paper, cardstock that I cut off when I'm designing and I have to cut off pieces. I'm just going to use day. And I want cut that off just a little bit, and I want it with like a banner. And I'll cut it off just a little bit more. Again, I didn't measure it. I like to soften the edges a little bit, so I'm just gonna take it. Okay. And I have some pieces I cut off from this card, from the birthday paper, the whatever it was, the Bright and Beautiful paper that I used for this card. I saved all the scraps, and that just adds a little bit of color. And I think I'll have lots of scraps. I think I'll use that piece. That's what I'm going to use. And I'll just take that down first. And then tape this down on top of it. I just want a little bit of it to show around. I may or may not have that one crooked, but that's okay. It is okay. Don't sweat the small stuff. All right, then this ribbon, there again, I'm going to be totally honest. This ribbon is fresh freesia, but it is retired. It was some that I had managed to have 2 rolls of, and I decided to use it for my class because I'm trying to use up some of my stash. That way, then when the new catalog comes out, I can buy more new stuff out of the new catalog. Just going to tie a bow, and I have found I don't waste it quite as much if I tie it before. And I will adjust that. And again, if I could find my glue dots, I would use glue dots to put this on, but I can't find them. So we are going to wing it, and that'll have to be adjusted probably a little bit. Then I want a little bit more bling, and this is what I love. One of the things I love about our alcohol markers, if you get the plain rhinestones and you use the alcohol markers, it has to be the alcohol markers. Our other markers, they'll rub right off. But the alcohol, you can color them whatever color you want. That way, everything matches. Now, I'm not always a matchy-matchy. I mostly am a matchy-matchy type of crafter. But if you're a matchy-matchy, and it does work better if you do this before you take them off. And that way that's the color. All right, I think we have completed the 3 projects. And wow, I did talk for 45 minutes. I can't believe I talked that long. And these are the cards that we did. Pocket card, just a regular card, but they're so fun. They're daisies, and who doesn't love daisies? All right, friends, I think that's everything for today. Join me again. I will be doing classes in April, and for my class in April, I probably will be using some sets that are retiring and that we're going to have to say goodbye to, but until I know what we're going to have to say goodbye to, I can't really plan too far ahead. Our little catalog, the mini catalog, it goes through June, I believe. And there are some things, inventory that's not available, but hopefully soon. I think some of the card stock, maybe Pretty Peacock is one of the things that is out of inventory right now. I will, you can always go online to my online store and see the inventory status. I believe you can see that. So I think with that said, I'm going to shut down for the afternoon and maybe make some cards, maybe read a book. I'm not sure. It's a rainy day. It's one of those good days for crafting. So anyway, you all have a good weekend, and I will see you back here stamping with a friend next month. Thanks.